JKB back with another episode, and today on the show I'm reviewing Cyber Shadow. Thank you to Yacht Club Games for the review copy. Cyber Shadow is an amazing, incredible action platformer where you awaken as a cybernetic ninja to find out that your clan is mysteriously missing and robots have taken over the Earth. Once again, this is another game I'm reviewing where the game was produced and made by one person. Yes, I think he had a little bit of help, but the overall game was made by one person. Unbelievable. Gameplay-wise, it takes inspiration from games like Shadow of the Ninja, Ninja Gaiden, Mega Man, Castlevania, and similar games of the same genre. The game's level design I find to be incredible. Eventually, you'll get into some backtracking areas, and there are some snaking pathways. I should point out my first encounters with a few of the boss battles seemed like I was going to have a difficult time. However, once I learned the strategy of how to beat them, it was a breeze. It wasn't until later into the game I realized how hard this game can really get. In terms of mechanics, the game starts with a very simple set of mechanics. There's not much to do other than run and jump and slash your sword, but as you progress through the game, you will come across tons of power-ups that change the gameplay in many ways that are kind of predictable, but a blast to play. The market is currently full of these 8-bit nostalgia grabs. While most of the games do not know how to ramp up difficulty in the correct way, this game, on the other hand, does it with perfection. At the very beginning of the game, you can only slash forward, making the game a real challenge when enemies are flying up from below you. Then, later into the game, you can start to unlock some of your upgrades, and this goes in line with the difficulty in terms of its pacing. It feels amazing once you start to unlock some of the future upgrades in the game. It changes it from a Ninja Gaiden sort of homage to its own ridiculous, over-the-top action platformer genre. I absolutely love it. The one thing I wanted to bring up are the checkpoints sometimes feel a little far apart from each other, which caused me to have to redo much of some of the levels every time I died, which was annoying. However, do I suck at the game? Well, that's a question that I think everybody will ask themselves. Is the game poorly designed, or do I just suck? And I have to say, no, I do feel that the checkpoints are a little, and I mean a little too far into some of the zones, which causes frustration. Levels also feature environmental dangers, such as a giant laser that shoots throughout the whole level. Now, of course, it's on a timed interval, meaning that you can avoid it if you time your jumps correctly, and you can also use it to draw enemies in and get obliterated if you time your jumps correctly. I do feel like the first couple of boss battles seemed incredibly hard, but once I learned the pattern, like I said earlier, I defeated them quickly. However, when you get deeper into the game, you might be smashing your controller because the difficulty curve goes up through the roof. There's only really two cons I could think of when I think about this game, and one of them is the checkpoint situation I brought up earlier. The other one is the disappointing story. While it's interesting for a couple of minutes at the beginning of the game, I'm a little disappointed that it isn't at the same height as the rest of the game. And I mean, the rest of the game is incredible. From level design, the different enemy types and variety are incredible. The way you progress your character in this game is amazing, and the boss battles become unbelievable by the end of the game. The biggest pro that I have to bring up in this game are the abilities that you unlock when you get further into the game. You'll be doing dashes in midair while jumping and flying over the level, essentially not touching the ground for quite some time. This is where the game becomes truly a masterpiece in its design, and I feel that this game really should be played by anybody that's a huge fan of action platformers. It's not for everyone because it is very difficult. If you were able to beat Ninja Gaiden, then I really do challenge you to beat this game. Overall, I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. This is one of those action platformer throwback genre games that I just absolutely love. It's on the same level as Shovel Knight in terms of gameplay mechanics. I have an absolute blast playing this game. At times it is difficult, but that is because I suck. Once I learn the level and understand the pattern of the attacks from the enemies, that is when you should get good at the game. And if you don't, you're missing something. It's It's not the game's fault, it's because you suck. And I know that because I suck at times. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and make my dream of eating a sandwich every single day paid with YouTube money. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next episode of JKB.